when the Springer Opera House opened, there was no Statue of Liberty. When the Springer Opera House opened, there was no Eiffel Tower. When the Springer looked out on the world, all of these, there was no Washington Monument. When the Springer opened, the Wright brothers had not been born. This is Columbus's Statue of Liberty. This is Columbus's Eiffel Tower, and it's been here for 143 years. This is the place where the community has been coming into this room for 143 years. This is the place where the community has been meeting for over a century. The saving of this theater started the historic preservation movement in Columbus. The immediate next thing, all the people that did that, Janice Biggers and Clayson Kyle, Doc McClure, all of those people, Chuck McClure, the immediate next thing that happened was the founding of the Historic Columbus Foundation. And saving the fabric of these other buildings nearby became the next thing. They would tear down the courthouse and to build the government center, yeah. And they needed parking. And here was this old decrepit building across the street. They saw this lot as perfect parking.
This would have been a beautiful parking lot.
Would have been a beautiful parking lot. But at the time, there was a man named Robert Porterfield who came to Columbus to speak to some civic clubs about, he was from Abingdon, Virginia, and he came to Columbus to talk about using the cultural arts to boost the economy. And he found out they're getting ready to tear down the Springer Opera House, which he had already heard of. And he was incensed. And so he changed the nature of his speech to talk about all of the people who had performed on that historic stage in there and how this, the fabric of this building, reflected the true nature of this community, and you're getting ready to destroy it? And so he planted a seed there. The idea that saving something old to make the future better, that was a new thing for Columbus, Georgia. But one of the challenges that Columbus, Georgia has is the public is much more title crazy today than they were 26 years ago when I got to the Springer. There was much more of a feeling then, although the audience was much smaller, that, hey, we're going on an adventure to the Springer Opera House and I'm sure it'll be wonderful, you know, this kind of a thing. These days, if the title does not ring a bell to people, they don't come. And so the challenge of doing new works, the challenge of doing something that recently won the Humana New Play Festival at the Actors Theater of Louisville, it becomes a much more a dicier affair because the cost of doing it is the same as this, but the revenue is going to be much lower. And so you have to say, well, we're going to do this for artistic, cultural reasons. We're going to do this because it's a good play, not just because it's a familiar title. But it is plays like this that keeps the lights on at the Springer Opera House. I'm constantly thinking the Springer Opera House has to get better this year. It has to get better the year after that. You can drive past this building, Chuck, and it becomes part of the wallpaper of Columbus if you're not careful. Oh, the Springer's always been there. The Springer will always be there. What's going on inside? I think a lot of people, it's kind of foggy to them what goes on in there because many people, most people in Columbus, Georgia, in this region, don't come in this building every year. Sometimes I look up and realize our audience, when I'm talking to them individually, some of these people are ahead of me. I'm trying to envision the next 25 years for the Springer Opera House. And they're envisioning it too, but they want it today. They want the Springer Opera House to be the best regional theater company in America. And so that's where I'm going. I remember when I was young and I had these lofty artistic goals and visions and things that I wanted to do, and I do get to explore them from time to time. But I tell you, there's nothing that gets me more excited than giving joy to a room full of people. And for people to be smiling and laughing and having a good time, and they leave and their day is better, their world is better, they feel more complete, they love their family more, you know, whatever. This is the house of joy. If I croak in this theater, that'll be fine with me, while a bunch of young people are standing around tapping their feet waiting for me to get out of the way. Tough. I'm going to be the director of the Springer Opera House until I croak. Well, as long as I keep doing a good job. The board of directors does have something to say about that.
So I guess then you become a Springer ghost.
I'm going to haunt this place for eternity. You can bet.